What you have to understand is the average size apartment in New York City is 1,300 square feet. You can fit 15 of the normal sized apartments in his huge apartment.
Yeah, Steve likes his square footage, but not quite as much as financier Jeffrey Epstein. Jeff was a high school math teacher until he traded his blackboard for the big board in 1976, eventually launching his own exclusive finance firm for billionaire clients. But he just couldn't keep out of the classroom.
Fell to the ground. His bride yelled. The bodyguards rushed forward as Sinatra kicked the young man. One of the guards grabbed Sinatra and pulled him away. The others got him into the elevator and into the Hotel de Paris lobby, at which time Sinatra calmly announced, "The evening is over. Good night," and went up to his suite. Immediately, Belasco arranged for a doctor to come to the hotel to treat the young man, then comped the honeymooning couple's entire stay. Belasco moved them into a big suite on the top floor and sat with them for several hours, eventually persuading them to stay, so that he could arrange fabulous day trips with chauffeured limousines, helicopter rides, a day on a private yacht, several romantic meals, a private jet to Paris, and Concorde tickets back to the States.
Again, because that just makes everything better, doesn't it?
Exactly.
All those girls that got, you know...
Exactly. Maybe they had a rough time one night at one of Trump's parties, but they always did well out of it.
He let them ride a donkey.
Yeah, he sent them to Atlantic City for the week.
Yeah. Fucking fleece.
One thing I will say is, God, I wish I'd gotten punched by Frank Sinatra. I reckon it would have been easy to get punched by Frank Sinatra.
Yeah, I mean...
Go up to him and call him Frankie Boy and smack him on the arse. I recognise that arse anyway. How you doing, Frankie boy? On Sunday morning, Belasco told room service that he wanted to be notified as soon as the Sinatras ordered breakfast. He then went to speak to Moore and Trump about the incident. Both men admitted it might have been the most embarrassing night of their lives. He'd just finished with them when a room service order was placed for the Sinatra suite. Belasco hurried down to the florist, picked up a bouquet of 36 long-stemmed red roses, and personally wheeled the breakfast cart into the suite. "Those for me," Sinatra said, wearing a silk dressing gown. He finished with the flowers, placed the vase in the living room with a note to Mrs. Sinatra that simply said, "We honour your presence, Pierre Belasco." "Weather's great, let's eat out here." "Grab a cup yourself," Sinatra said. "You're probably the only guy in town who's still talking to me." Belasco laid out Sinatra's breakfast on a table next to his chair. The hotel specialised in fresh-baked croissants and mini pain au chocolat. Poured coffee for him and handed him a glass of fresh squeezed orange juice. Sorry, jus d'orange.
As Donald Trump would call it.
"Come on, sit down." Belasco poured a cup for himself and sat down. "Ever been over there?" Sinatra pointed. "You ever been there? Huh? Have you?" "I've been there 3 times." "Now get out!" "I don't want breakfast anymore. Get out!" Speaking of rings, is Van Cleef and Arpels open today? Someday? I'm afraid not. Too bad. Especially because she'll know those roses are from you, not me. Belasco understood what Sinatra was thinking. "If you'd like, I might be able to ring someone and make arrangements. Not at the store, but for a visit here." "Yeah," Sinatra nodded several times. "Good. Tell them big. I want a whole selection. Diamonds. The size of a baby's body." "I want a whole selection. Diamonds. You can do that?" "I'm sure I can," Belasco said. Good. He took a croissant and ate it whole. Followed it by some coffee, and then ate a pain au chocolat.
Ate it whole?
Yeah.
A fucking croissant. They're like that fucking... You can't...
They fold in on themselves, so they can't be telescopic, so he just pushed it in with 2 fingers. He just put it in
just staring at him the whole time.
Eyes slowly watering. Oh, that's how Frankie blue eyes.
Oh god, this is insane.
It is finally getting good though.
Yeah, Frank Sinatra shoving an entire croissant in his mouth is pretty good, I'll give it that. And fucking punching out some kid.
Some shit-heel kid. "How's the kid?" he asked while chewing, not looking at Belasco. "I guess I duked him too good, huh?" "How bad was he hurt?" "Black eye and his ribs are tender." "Is he really on his honeymoon?" "Yes." Sinatra stayed silent for the longest time. "Yeah." Van Cleef, I need them. On Monday morning, at Belasco's request, the man from Van Cleef and Arpels handed the young couple a check for $62,500. Later that morning, Mrs. Sinatra came to Belasco's office to thank him for the roses. She was wearing a brand new diamond ring, which Belasco eventually learned had cost her husband $5 million. Then Sinatra himself showed up. "You're my guy, Pierre. Thank you for taking care of everything." He handed Belasco a small gift wrap package. "I couldn't possibly, sir." "The hell you can't," Sinatra grinned, punching him in the face, kicking him several times in the ribs. "Turn me down and I'll give you a black eye too." Belasco thanked Sinatra. "This is very generous. Shall I open it now?" "What the hell, pal? You gonna wait for Hanukkah?" Inside was a pair of gold and diamond-studded cufflinks. "These are magnificent. Thank you very much." He patted the side of Belasco's face and without saying anything more, walked away.
I love how it's written from his perspective, and his perspective is that of a fucking idiot child who is so impressed by money. Even though he's a billionaire, he's so impressed by money. Later learned that it cost him $5 million. Yeah? And that's the story.
That's the point of the story.
Jesus Christ, you are such a feeble-minded little cunt. President of the United States, you know what I mean?
Well, you know, he kept the streak going. You know, feeble-minded, ignorant cunts to a man.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe Abe Lincoln. Maybe he was up there with Trump.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And if you look, with the exception of Abraham Lincoln, possible exception, but the exception of Abraham Lincoln, nobody has done what I've done.
An hour after Sinatra handed him the cufflinks, Donald Trump appeared in Belasco's office.
Oh, God. Completely undressed from the waist down. Shit smeared down his legs.
"If you can handle Frank Sinatra," Trump said, "you should be running a business for me. I need a hotel guy. But not just any hotel guy. I need you, hotel guy. And I want to deal with you, hotel guy. And I want to do a deal with you right now. I'm a deal guy." Trump leaned across Belasco's antique French desk, took a piece of paper and a pencil and wrote down a number. He shoved the piece of paper in front of Belasco. "I'm a deal guy. Look at these numbers. We'll move you from here and find you a great apartment somewhere in the town. I don't know what's available, but we'll find something you'll love." "No, sir."
No, fuck off.
Get the fuck away from me, fucking creepy people. "Mr. Belasco, sir?" Snapped back to the moment. "Yes?" Miguel, the elevator operator, said, "Your floor, sir." "Is she qualified?" "She has a background in hotels." "I mean, is she qualified to steal your job?" "Not in this lifetime."
As always, the moment he stepped into his office, Carson turned on his computer, then went to make a latte on the espresso machine in the kitchen. By that time, the kid...
This is so fucking irrelevant.
Yeah, I know, like...
I can guarantee you,
none of this is going to matter,
all of this has been cut, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just, fuck me.
Yeah. First, he winked at Rod Laver.
As you do.
As is tradition.
Which was the start of the time.
Then he winked at Alicia. He'd taken that photo of her one morning on the deck of the beach house they'd rented in Aruba while the sun was coming up and her hair was blowing in the dawn breeze. The photo always made him smile. Settling in to study his overnight emails, he slipped his
dick. Slipped his dick into the DVD tray of his PC and shut it. That always made him smile.
He's got 51% of the shares, we're second with 22. So there's still 27 out there. We know 18 are with the institutions. That leaves 9 somewhere. Yeah, because this shit is so exciting, isn't it? To us poor peasants who don't have any experience of it, it's just heart racing, isn't it? Like, oh my god, they're dealing in stocks and shares.
Yeah, they're dealing with in money. He's buying all that other man's money.
But only one man truly rules the Wall Street skies. Because for former schoolteacher turned billionaire Jeffrey Epstein, one private plane won't do. He's got a small fleet.
He has a Boeing 727. I'm just wondering now, what do you need a commercial-size airliner for?
Believe us, it comes in handy when you've got powerful friends to fly around. When Bill Clinton organized a week-long tour of Africa in 2002, Jeff gave him a ride in his personal 727 and took actors Kevin Spacey and Chris Tucker along for the trip.
I honestly have gotten so past the point of not even listening. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore.
His first year on that tour, he played in 30 events and actually won 2. The next year he won 3, Acapulco, Calgary and Helsinki, but failed to get to Wimbledon and lost handily in the first round in Australia. He did, however, make it to the second round in both the French and US Opens. The year after that, he won 4 tournaments around the world, Salt Lake City, Quito, Mumbai and Johannesburg for the second time, but still couldn't progress past the second rounds of any of the big 4.
That's the only thing that was going in my head during all of that.
No, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. God, I wish I was dead. When he was beaten in the first round at Wimbledon in 2004 by Roger Federer, he shook the Swiss star's hand at the net and said, "I think I've had enough." In the locker room, Federer asked what he meant by that. "You going to quit, Federer?" I love how fucking Roger Federer is now a character in this book. That's when, out of the blue, Waring phoned. "Come play in Omaha. Whoever you are, you're too late because I've hung up my kids." "It's a charity event," Waring said. "Last year I raised $3 million. This year I'm going to raise 4. Give me an address and I'll FedEx you all the bump."
I guess it doesn't make any more or less sense than the rest of what you've been reading, but Jesus Christ, I mean, fucking hell.
The next day, when a FedEx envelope arrived from Waring, Alicia Googled him, read several entries about him, and announced to Carson, "He's known as the other one." "The other one what?" The other one, she said. "There are 2 in Omaha, and he's the other one." Okay, so
at the moment I'm getting a bit angry.
Do you think we should perhaps enter into a suicide pact over this book?
Yeah, you go first.
Fucking glad.
Imagine your audience is human and write for that. Please, Jeffrey, come on.
Expecting a chauffeured limo to meet them, they were surprised to find Waring himself waiting for them, driving his own car. Somewhere in his late 60s, he was short and robust, with a smallish head, large shoulders, no waist, and a big grin and surprisingly large hands.
Is this the fucking judge?
Thanks.
What the fuck does that mean?
I really wish I was reading Blood Meridian right now.
I feel like I am.
Yeah, it's like Blood Meridian, but with none of the artistry.
Yeah. It's like Neil Breen's Blood Meridian.
At dinner that night, under a huge marquee, everyone who was anyone in Omaha attended. So did a bunch of people Waring called non-Omers, including tennis greats Jimmy Connors and Illy Nastas. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. Right. Including tennis greats Jimmy Connors and Illy Nastas, boxer Smokin' Joe Frazier, actress Morgan Fairchild, actors Dick Van Dyke and John Spencer from The West Wing, Dwante Culpepper from the Minnesota Vikings, and the inimitable Willie Nelson. Waring got up at the end of the meal and announced that at this year's event they'd raised $5.2 million. Everyone stood up and applauded him while he blew kisses to Anita. Then Willie stood up. Oh God, please
don't do this to the man.
Don't do
deserve
this. I think we should definitely censor this whole bit because it's not on. Just like that, unplanned and unannounced, he walked to the front of the marquee, borrowed a guitar from a guy in the band and said, "Anita darling, this is for you," and sang "On the Road Again," "Mamas Don't Let Your Babies Grow Up to Be Cowboys," and ended with "Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain." No, he didn't. No, he fucking didn't. On Sunday, Carson and Waring paired as a team and won the tournament. Because this is written by a child.
And then at the award ceremony, there was a dinosaur.
Yeah, and Willie Nelson sang a song for him. "We want you to come work for us." Why? Carson had... Oh, okay. Again! It's doing it again!
Yeah.
Why? Carson admitted, "I'm a has-been tennis player who doesn't know anything about finance, stocks, shares, or the markets." It's not how you write. It's why, Carson asked.
Yes, because then he admitted afterwards. Why Carson admitted is not what you're trying to say.
Exactly. He asked why, and then he admitted he's a has-been fucking dickhead. Oh, God, I'm so fucking angry right now. So the two of them moved to New York. Alicia established herself as a media personality while Carson worked hard to learn the world of Wall Street. Although he wasn't sure he'd figured it out enough by 2008 when the world's financial markets went into meltdown, he was asked to join Goldman's internal team. The secret collective of traders, managers, I thought it said marauders there, which would be more fucking accurate. Traders, managers, gurus and strategists whose job it was to save the company from going broke. After 8 months of non-stop planning, convincing, conniving, buying, selling and restructuring without any time off and hardly ever more than a couple of hours sleep a night, the sinking ship had been righted and was no longer taken. What I'm supposed to feel sorry for this cunt. Like when you say restructuring, that means sacking people, doesn't it? I mean that means firing shitloads of people.
Firing all the people that kept you going, and keeping on all the people that caused this fucking disaster.
They're fucking scum.
Yeah.
We all live in shit because of these cunts.
Excuse me, Joe. Right, but I'm going to have to interrupt you there. He just told you, okay, that they spent all those nights working hard, okay, to right the ship. It didn't really go into too much detail as to exactly what they were doing, but you know, I'm sure they were doing lots of very good things.
At that strip club.
Yeah, and they solved the problem, okay, and as we know, the financial crisis was averted.
Sorted.
And we are living in a golden age right now, boom times. I mean, it's like the Roaring Twenties all over. Why are you laughing?
Carson went to sea warring in Puerto Vallarta, where he was on his honeymoon with wife number 4, Ellen Corley de Soto, a blonde from Toronto who was a foot taller than him and at least 30 years younger. Cool guy.
That's what you do when you have money.
Yeah, you marry children.
You buy a new child bride. When the old one dies.
When the old one fucking dies, you just buy a child off the internet.
And even if these foxy 40-something financiers don't have models or starlets on speed dial, they can still get plenty of play for the right price.
Waring said that he'd met Ellen in Monte Carlo on the arm of some British corporate raider and that he'd won her from the Brit after a long night in the private casino playing Chemin de Fer. This book is horrible, I hate it.
What the fuck?
I just don't know or care. The trouble with this book, right, the reason it's worse than 72 Versions, marginally, is because during 72 Versions we'd be asking questions but genuinely wanting to know what the answer is. Whereas with this, do you know what? Don't bother explaining it, I don't care. You remember all those hours ago when you read the first fucking line of the book? From the very start it was just, like you say, like a shotgun blast to the fucking face. Just boom, 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 boom. And it just doesn't stop. And you're like, well, how could I care? I don't even know what the fuck's going on.
Sentences just run on, don't make sense. They're saying things I don't understand to each other. And so there's just so much of it, you're just left completely baffled.
Yeah. The office of the Director of Operations was not in Trump Tower. It was at 1 Central Park West on Columbus Circle in the Trump International Hotel and Tower, which is the old Gulf and Western building that Trump converted in 1997 to 176 hotel rooms and 158 condominium apartments. Great, because I needed to know that.
Just a little fucking advert literally printed in the fucking book.
Yeah.
Just like, the prices.
I'm actually shocked that there aren't. I'm shocked that when you open it, a load of fucking leaflets of Trump steak and that.
Kebab shops.
Usually, whenever Antonia had to go between her second floor office on the hotel side to any other Trump property, she took taxis. Antonia has an expense account, she would remind herself. Antonia is entitled, but she didn't use her entitlement this time.
That's very big of her.
She rode the elevator down from the staff meeting, all the time mumbling to herself, oblivious to the other people in there with her.
I can see why she's one of Trump's top.
When it stopped on the ground floor, she pushed her way out first, hurried out of the atrium onto 5th Avenue, turned right, rushed past Tiffany's to 57th Street.
And took a shit in an open drain.
He embarrassed Antonia, she told herself. She refers to herself in the third person all the time.
I wonder if there's anyone else we can
Yeah.
So she doesn't say the Antonia. So she's one step above Trump.
Yeah. She was walking faster than anyone else on the street. Antonia is walking faster than anyone else on this street. He embarrassed Antonia. Now she started saying it loud enough for people on the street to hear. And Antonia doesn't like to be embarrassed. Oh God, she's saying this out loud.
Yeah.
Sorry, I know I was reading that out loud, but I really wasn't paying attention. And Antonia doesn't like to be embarrassed. Antonia doesn't like that. Antonia doesn't like Pierre. What the fuck? End scene.
He rang the bell, and one of Katerina Essenbach's 2 maids let him in and walked him through the ornate gold Louis XVI living room. So we've gone up. into the wood-panelled, book-filled study where Mrs. Essenbach was sitting on a leather couch wearing a flowing gold lame dressing gown.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ.
Cher Monsieur Belasco. She extended her hand but did not get up. He went to her, took her hand, bowed and almost kissed it, but not quite, which is the proper way to kiss a lady's hand. Madame, he said, how nice to see you. She opened her eyes very wide, licked her upper lip, smiled at him. I assure you it is my pleasure. Coffee, tea, champagne. It is never too early for champagne, as I'm sure you know. Or perhaps something... She paused and then said, smiling, hard. Said to have been one of the all-time great Hungarian beauties, rumour had it that in 1968, at the age of 18, Katerina Laszlo, as she was then known, so dazzled the conductor Herbert von Karajan, who was 60 at the time, that he brought her to Berlin as his mistress and maintained her for 2 years in a huge suite at the top floor of the Hotel Kempinski on the Kurfürstendamm. She came to America, thanks to a remote family connection to Vilmos Gabor, father of Zaza, Eva and Magda, where she was introduced to the 70-year-old exiled Hungarian film director Zseli Bartók, with whom she lived for 5 years. As none of her live-in lovers left her anything in their wills after Bartók's death, she embarked on a series of marriages, ending with Kurt Essenbach, an Austrian industrialist whom she had married when he was 81. Much to her often admitted great relief, he died on their honeymoon, leaving her the entirety of his $200 million fortune. Not surprisingly, Kurt's 7 children from 4 previous marriages contested the... Well, I'm sure we'll get every detail of every marriage then.
Can't wait.
These days, money was the least of her problems. Top of the list was her rotten luck with plastic surgeons. Her tummy tuck had gone wrong, and according to the press reports that Velasco had seen, her navel ended up 2 inches off centre. She successfully sued for $5 million, but never managed to get her belly button back to where it should be. Then a facelift went wrong, distorting her mouth.
The fuck is this?
This is just the Romans drinking the lead in the water that drove them all mad and fucking killed them. I should be hearing any day now on my construction permission, she said, crossing her legs and letting the gown slip just a bit, revealing some thigh. Velasco smiled politely and averted his eyes, spotting an old snapshot sitting on the coffee table. It showed Katerina Essenbach in a black leotard with her arms cosily around a bare-chested Alejandro, the trainer from the gym. A mere child, she said, reaching for the photo and turning it over. Hardly the man you are. I presume you've seen the plans. I have, he said, and remembered thinking when he first saw them that these were the most extravagant use of indoor spaces he'd ever heard of. Essenbach intended to turn her half of the 41st floor into a tropical rainforest. Do you remember what I said about the Romans?
Yes, I do, yes.
The Brazilian designer Yara, she only used one name, had already created 5 of these private rainforests. The first was for the Italian industrialist Giacomo Amaducci. Inside were more than 1,500 different plants, trees and flora, plus 400 different species of insects and animals from Brazil's own rainforest, including 3 types of monkeys, spider squirrel and golden lion, tamarins, baby sloths, baby anteaters, toucans, macaws, anaconda snakes, Amazon turtles, poison arrow frogs, piranha and capybara, which are the biggest rodents on Earth, outside of the Trump. This is like, I cannot believe I'm saying this, this is like Boris Johnson on steroids.
Yeah.
I'm honestly considering just going down this page and just, if there's nothing...
Yeah, I think that would be appropriate. This is a first. Obviously we cut bits out, but we have always literally read every word of every book we've ever done.
No, you're right, you've talked me into it. Since then, Yara had installed 3 more. For the Shanghai billionaire Yu Kwang-ni, who spent 13, the Essenbach Yara would be the first non-freestanding private rainforest, as it was going to be installed inside an apartment. It would also be the smallest, although it would be the only Yara that did not come stocked with any wildlife, as Trump Tower had a no-pets policy. It was still going to cost Mrs. Essenbach $15.4 million. On top of that, Yara was going to charge her $65,000 a month to maintain the installation.
Oh no, we couldn't possibly feed the hungry. There's not enough money. I need to get a rainforest in my fucking flat.
When it is installed, you will come to the party, won't you? He responded politely. Absolutely fucking not.
You mad
Stuffed her out the window.
Fucking choked her to death and stuffed her in a fucking bin. Tried to fit her whole body down the fucking waste disposal in the sink.
Just breaking every bone in her withered old body. I was surprised at how easy it was to fold her. They're also pitifully jealous. She pointed to the floor below. Then, referring to the Advanis, don't get me started. Can you imagine how they leave their chaste little daughter all alone for so many months at a time? I assure you she is well looked after. Anvi was the teenage daughter of one of the wealthiest men in the subcontinent, and there had been kidnap threats, plus a very strict Austrian governess, not to mention a full live-in household staff.
Again, you'd think it was like hundreds of years ago, wouldn't you? Like the way these fuckers live,
governess.
It's just like, a fucking governess and staff.
Rainforest. End of the hall. Fuck me. If only they knew. Chaste and proper little Anvi. Are her parents ever in for a surprise? Have you fired him yet? Fired him? Vela. Donald said to me that, oh yes, he realised she'd changed subjects. Pierre, darling. She reached for his hand and put hers on top of his. You're not going to make excuses for this pathetic little thief. What, Donald? Downstairs on the 19th floor, next to the hand-painted logo that said...
Was that at the end of the chapter?
Nope. I think I'll just do...
I think I'll just stop there anyway.
I'll go to bed now. Downstairs on the 19th floor, next to the hand-painted logo that said Scarpe Pietrasanta, there was a small sign that read, please ring the bell, but the door was already open, so Belasco poked his head in and said, good morning. Wow, I'm really glad you told me all of those things, because none of them had anything to do with anything.
I'm really glad I zoned out and didn't listen.
Oh, a woman said inside and opened the door, surprised to find someone there. May I help you? He guessed she was in her early to mid-40s. She had a pleasant face and short auburn hair that had been lightened just a bit. He thought that she looked a little bit like the British actress Emma Thompson. But her eyes were red. I'm Pierre Belasco, he said. I'm Pierre Belasco. I'm cosplaying as Pierre Belasco. He held out his hand and smiled. General manager of Trump Tower. Are you alright? She shook his hand quickly. Rebecca Patelli. It took him a few seconds. Mr. Patelli's wife. Wow, how did you figure that one?
Nothing gets past old Pierre, does it?
Of course, if there's anything I can do for you. Can you give my husband back to me? He stood there. If only I could, madame. Rebecca, she said. I mean as of 2 weeks ago, I am no longer madame anybody. Tears now poured out of her eyes.
Yeah.
Please, she motioned that he should sit down in one of the two chairs facing the desk and took a tissue to dry her face. He took a deep breath. I think the first thing you need is to get someone in here who can look at the books and tell you what's what. Her eyes welled up again. Be my guest. No, not me. He leaned forward. Who's your accountant? Mark kept everything to himself. I was never a part of... Now she started to cry again. Please. He wanted to make her understand. It's going to be alright. I feel like a bird with a broken wing. I think Trump should come down and talk her through it, teach her how to run a business.
Teach her the deal, yeah.
He took the elevator up to 24. A bird with a broken wing, he kept hearing her say, and crossed over to the residence elevator. The door opened, and Belasco stepped in to find Odette. Monsieur Belasco, the elegantly dressed 93-year-old said. Quel plaisir de vous voir. He smiled at her, took her right hand and almost kissed it. You are earlier than usual this morning, he said in French. We spoke French fluently. Now she leaned forward and asked quietly, did you hear the news? What news, madame? She whispered, Michael Jackson is dead. Very topical. Ah, yes, I heard, Belasco said. I used to see him here all the time. He didn't have the heart to tell her that Jackson was dead quite a while now. He lived on 66, next door to Mr. Trump. Poor Michael, she shook her head.
There's some other news I heard about Michael Jackson.
Yeah, and
Mr.
Mr. Trump.
Mr. Trump.
Yeah, I wonder if they compared notes. Do you know how many times he told me, I like you so much? Mr. Trump? No, poor Michael. It's so hard to know whether she's supposed to have dementia or something. Or if she's just like every other character in this book, because nobody else makes any fucking sense. Odette walked into the residence lobby and pointed to the small unmarked door next to the concierge desk. May I? Yes, of course. Belasco opened the door for her, then helped her down some steps into the tiny fire control office. He said, excuse us please, to the man sitting there, watching a bank of monitors, then opened another small door, this one leading into the atrium. Then he fucked the shit out of her. And then they just fucked like rabbits.
I sleep with all my friends.
Call the police! We're pressing charges. This criminal has plagued my family for nearly 20 years. He's a ruthless adventurer and a con artist who preys on mentally feeble, sick old ladies. And he probably fucks them, too.
I go to bed with all my friends.
Odette Juliet stepped out, looked at the Trump grill to her right, then spotted some tourists standing nearby taking photos.
The Trump grill.
Fucking unreal.
It's like fan fiction. It's the way that Trump is mentioned so much, and it's the Trump grill and this and that, and it's like, just switch it out for One Direction and then you fucking go, do you know what I mean? It's just pathetic.
Yeah. Ronald Rose and Company, how may I direct your call? Is Ronnie there, please? It's Pierre Belasco. She put him through. Pierre, Rose said. Audit or refund? Neither, Belasco said. A favour. Have you got a junior person in the office who could run through some books and figure out where a company stands? Trump? No. There's a company in the tower. The owner died and the widow is up to her neck in problems. I thought if someone could stop by. When? Monday, after lunch, say 3? Yep, Rose said. I'll have someone there at 3. Thank you. Who do we bill? For the time being, me. Still pretending to be the Red Cross? Just trying to help a little bird fly again.
I'm done.
I'd really, honestly, rather he just fucked the 93-year-old. Like, graphically fuck the 93-year-old and hear that ever again.
Well.
Jesus. Okay.
Yeah, fuck.
Fuck.
Oh, fuck.
But no Wall Street island hopper grabbed a sweeter spread than our friend Jeffrey Epstein. With an estimated annual take of $75 million, he had more than enough cash to buy his own piece of the Virgin Islands.
Jeffrey Epstein owns a 70-acre private island called Little St. James. It used to be a resort.
And now it's sort of lovingly called Little St. Jeff.
Why not? It's all his.
It's daylight again. What happened? I'm just trying to think, what were we on? What just happened? Oh yeah, so the fucking bird with the broken wing. I'm just a little bird. It was one of those unforgettable evenings. Antoine de Maisonneuve, the interior designer whose 40th birthday had been celebrated with cover stories this month in Vogue, Vanity Fair and Harper's Bazaar, was having his party. His longtime partner, Bobby Baldwin, who'd once been called the Great Black Hope of American Ballet, rented the Beacon Theatre on Broadway at West 74th Street, removed all the seats, levelled the floor so that it didn't slope, and put in tables for 250 people. A floor-to-ceiling ice sculpture portrait of de Maisonneuve sat in the middle of the wonderful Art Deco room, where everyone who has ever been anybody in the world of rock has played, from the Stones, Jerry Garcia and Aerosmith, to Michael Jackson, James Taylor, Radiohead and Queen. They all appeared on the Beacon stage. So has Bill Clinton. So has the Dalai Lama.
Was he playing with Queen?
Yeah, guest vocals. Don't stop me. In front of that was a grand piano where, for 75 minutes, Elton John played his heart out. Why is any of this happening? Like, if this... Oh... I don't care. The music ended with Happy Birthday, a duet by Elton and Madonna, who wheeled out a 12-layer blackcurrant mousse and marzipan cake created by Anne-Marie Pradel-Besson, who'd been flown in from Paris just for this. Like, this is straight out of 72 Virgins. Like, you would absolutely believe this was Boris Johnson. I could not eat another thing, Tina Lee Cove said to Donatella Versace. What the fuck is going on?
And I thought it was ridiculous having Henry VIII as a character.
Yeah. Karl Lagerfeld blew them both kisses and went to say goodnight to the birthday boy, who was telling Wendy Murdoch, Rupert's wife, that she looked more beautiful than ever. Charlize Theron held onto Mike Bloomberg's arm as he asked Coris Arman if she'd had enough to eat. Anyone for a late night snack? The mayor joked.
What the fuck, man?
Little Mike Bloomberg turned up.
With Charlize Theron, power couple of the decade.
Yeah. Oh my god, it just keeps going. Diane Kruger groaned at the thought of more food, but Sarah Jessica Parker pointed to her husband, Matthew Broderick. He does killer eggs Benedict. Anyone up for breakfast? Elton kissed Lizzie Tish. Mark Jacobs was saying goodbye to Christina Hendricks, who was kissing Spike Lee goodbye, while David Beckham was telling a dirty joke to Kate Moss.
What the fuck?
See, Joe, this is what you could have if you merely rented an apartment in Trump Tower. You could have Matthew Broderick's Eggs Benedict. Zeke Gimble was explaining to Katie Couric how he was putting together a mega studio deal and bragged that he would soon own the world. Why do you want to own the world? Couric asked. That's what Trump wanted to know when I mentioned the deal to him. I said, Donald, when you own the world, you get laid a lot.
This was definitely written by Donald Trump.
Couric looked at him askance. And you know what he said to me? Zeke nodded several times. This is a running habit. Ding! He said that when he was single and running around with some of the most beautiful women on the planet, absolutely gorgeous girls, he used to get laid all of the time. Couric smiled politely.
That's more than I'd have been able to muster.
Yeah. Not far away, Carson Haynes asked David Cove, need a ride home? Nah. I got us Trump's Phantom. Trump's Phantom? Big white mother. It's the ghost of Trump's mum. Out-putted him yesterday at Pebble Beach. You beat him out of his Rolls Royce for the night, but y'all gotta know I'll have it forever as long as he's willing to give me 4 strokes. What? Damn right. You have the nerve to take 4 strokes from him? You play scratch. Trump's a 2. You'll have a problem with that? If I understood what you just said, I might have a problem with it. Carson shook his head in amazement, patted David on the shoulder, patted David on the arse, and kissed him on the mouth. Patted David on the shoulder and went to find Alicia, who was suddenly standing too close to the French soccer star Thierry Henry.
You want to watch yourself around that Thierry Henry?
Yeah, he will shag you and your wife. Before long, David motioned to Tina, and the two of them made their exit. Alicia is such a bitch, she said, taking her iPhone out of her bag. He pulled his own iPhone out of his pocket and turned it on. Tina's emails clicked in and began downloading. Now his emails also clicked in. It goes from insanity to awfulness. There's two modes it has. It's definitely like the least enjoyable book that we've had. That's fucking insane as that sounds.
Yeah, we're on a roll, aren't we? It's a race to the bottom at this point.
Yeah, mutually assured destruction.
Did Gaddafi write any novels?
Saddam did. So stay tuned for them. How about some Chianti? The Turk himself. David nodded and speed dialed a number in Istanbul. This is so fucking sad.
Yeah.
On the other end, a phone rang 3 times before a man with a gruff voice asked in Turkish, "Who is it?" "Asil," David said, putting his phone on speaker. "Tina and I have decided we're thirsty." He answered in good English, "How thirsty?"
That is very good English. 2 words.
As if you could say 2 words badly.
I mean, if you said that badly,
then he's not speaking
English at all. Yeah.
I'll go down to 4:11, but the offer is only open for 15 minutes. I'm in a car. I'm in the bar. Y'all don't forget to use soap. As soon as David opened the door to their 45th floor duplex, Tina kicked off her 3-inch spike Louboutin heels, my feet are numb, and let her black lame dress fall to the floor. David took off his dinner jacket, dropped it on top of Tina's dress, then kicked off his shoes, kicked his shoes straight through the window, and took off his pants too. Just his pants, he's still wearing everything else. Tina walked down the hall wearing only a black lace half bra and black silk thong and her mother's pearls.
The sexiest novel of the decade.
He followed her in his black dress shirt, black underpants and black socks.
The sexiest
novel of the decade. In the corner room that looked towards Central Park and 5th Avenue, Tina snapped on one of their 4 laptops, lit up the 96-inch flat screen hanging on the far wall, but left the rest of the lights off. Going over the various sections of the screen, David hoped to find someone who would be interested in taking this distressed cargo from them for a few cents more per bottle than they had paid Asil for it.
Yes, business, I understand.
Yeah. Interesting. Right, so he wants to make money. I see. Part of the deal, baby. Yeah.
I just thought he wanted to sit about in his pants and socks and drink it all.
She kept typing messages and sending them to all of their contacts around the world. Where's Boris in the Ukraine, who took the cigarettes last time? She typed a few lines on her keyboard, looked up at the big screen, waited for a moment, and then said, "No one's home. The lights are on, but nobody's home."
That's why he looks so sick. He's been smoking those fake Ukrainian flags and they're fucking him up.
Cold War USSR surplus fucking uranium-tipped cigarettes. Tina signalled that there was somebody in Denmark offering $3.99. "Best I can do," he said. "You'll call it $3.93. Honestly, there's nothing out there. Nobody wants this stuff. I'm telling you straight. Nobody." And with that, he motioned to Tina.
What a cool guy. Yeah. I wish I was like him.
Stood in his fucking pants.
And socks. Pants and socks. Such a good look.
Silhouetted against the New York skyline. Assel insisted, these are perishables. David reminded him, good Chianti is supposed to get better with age. Like I said, these are perishables.
I love it that this is the version of the big high-powered trading, and it's for knock-off shitty wine.
And they're just talking in circles around each other in their pants. Well, he's in his pants,
and the other one's in
fella's
the bar.
butt naked.
That's the art of the deal. It's like Bushido.
Clothes off. Tina indicated that South Korea was up to 4-7 and that Denmark was no longer anywhere to be seen. Denmark vanished from the map. Trump couldn't get the Iran sites, but he got one country they were willing to let him take it out. $3.99. Final. 4-3, Assel said. Tina nodded. David said, sold. Tina typed a message to Saul and the deal was done. There was still paperwork to arrange, but after David hung up with Assel and after Tina hung up with Saul, he reached for her bra and unhooked it.
He was wearing her bra. Was that his mother's bra?
Yeah. In the course of 20 minutes, they had bought and sold 576,000 bottles of Chilean plunk disguised as Italian Chianti, squeezing out 4 cents per bottle in the middle for themselves to make around $23,000.
Yay.
How much for the panties? 25 grand. She crossed her arms, hiding her breasts. Sorry, GI. Maybe next time. Now he moved in front of her. My shirt and underpants are only $22.5. I'll throw the socks in too. Sold. She reached for him. Mind if I eat at my desk? The sexiest couple of the decade.
Pierre Belasco jumped out of the cab and hurried through the double set of glass doors into the residence lobby. Sir, at this hour, Carlo, the night concierge, was genuinely surprised to see him. I'd say good morning, but it's still the middle of the night. Technically, Belasco said, somewhere it is always morning. He walked through the lobby to his office. Good morning, Paolo, the night elevator operator, half saluted. A little early, no? A lot early, yes. Belasco stepped into his office and turned on the light. Carlo followed him in. Is everything alright? No, our friend Mikey Glass has been involved in an incident. Mr. Glass, who lives here, he had a hotel room he decided to trash. Jorge asked, you want coffee? We have coffee.
Want coffee? We have no coffee.
Yes, thank you, Belasco said. Wow, there we go.
An actual sentence that was legible in a conversation.
I understand what happened there.
Would you like some coffee? Yes, I would like some coffee. Wow, see? It's easy when you know how.
Carlo and Jorge both went to fetch a cup for him.
It's a huge cup.
They got to roll it in and smash the handle to pieces trying to roll this cup in.
It just chips off on the fucking door frame. Fucking hell.
Belasco now reached for his phone and dialed an extension. A man answered. Timmins. I received a call at home half an hour ago that Mikey Glass destroyed a room around the corner at the New Commodore Hotel on Central Park South. He'd been out at a restaurant and bumped into some circus performers.
Oh, here we go. Back to business as usual.
Circus performers, acrobats, jugglers, people in clown costumes.
Crusty jugglers.
Some travellers moved into Callahan Park. Before you could say gypsy scum, we were knee-deep in dog-muck thieving kids and crusty jugglers.
Crusty jugglers.
He told them he loved the circus, took them back to the hotel, and they all started doing circus acts. Circus acts, juggling the furniture, trampolining on the bed, tumbling, lion taming, jumping through hoops of fire naked. They totally destroyed the room. I wish I could say I'm surprised. The police are there now. Okay, Timmins didn't have to ask what Belasco wanted him to do because he knew. I'll call for the cavalry. Belasco looked around his office. He thought about loosening his tie, but he was in the office and couldn't bring himself to do that. Instead, he went to his desk, fell into his chair and waited for his coffee to arrive. He could hear it coming down the hall. Alone, Belasco reached for his Rolodex, found a card for his old friend Antoine Cow, who was the general manager of the Commodore, and dialed the number. A very sleepy man responded. Hello! And that's with an H. Hello, with an H. Did I say? Oh, fuck me! What the fuck?
Traditionally,
with a U.
With an H.
With a U is what I meant to say.
Yes, I know that's what you meant to say, but it's not what you said, is it?
Oh God! Fucking hell! Hello? I know what time it is.
How's it spelling that?
With an H.
Whoa! Fancy.
it's Pierre, and I apologise for waking you. One of our residents, Mikey Glass, he just destroyed one of your rooms. Apparently there are 8 or 10 circus performers involved as well. Circus performers? You mean people dressed like clowns? We call them clowns.
No. No. They're circus performers. They're people that dress like clowns. They're not actual clowns.
Yeah.
No. There's no clowning involved. They were all dressed as clowns, and they do also all work at a circus.
And jugglers, and lion tamers, and tightrope walkers, and ladies riding bareback, and apparently some of them not dressed at all. Lions? I mean, is there a lion in the hotel?
I have to assume that there is.
The police are there now. I've made arrangements to get him out of there. The cavalry is on the way. I hope Trump pays you by the hour. Cal hung up. Now there was nothing to do but wait. Velasco sipped more coffee, turned on the flat-screen television he had sitting in the middle of a bookshelf, clicked several channels but gave up quickly when there wasn't anything he wanted to see. Oh!
I hope Trump pays you by the hour.
He worked his way through a dozen or so emails when he heard someone in the lobby say much too loudly, "Fuck you, mate, I live here too." Getting up, he left his office to find Ricky Lip's 18-year-old son, Joey, defiantly glaring at Carlo. Joey was dressed in black, with an open-neck black shirt and a black fedora hat.
A true gentleman. Lady.
Both Joey and the young woman had a glazed-over look in their eyes.
Had glazed over a gammon steak. And were thoroughly enjoying it.
"Good morning, sir," Velasco said. "Oh yeah," Joey pointed at him. For fuck's sake. "Oh yeah," Joey pointed at him, said to the young woman. Full stop. Full stop. There. "Oh yeah," Joey pointed at him, said to the young woman.
Joe, he's a professional writer, he's an award-winning international bestseller, and at the end of the day, Joe, listen, right, it's just not about words or the reading and the story, but this is about eroticism. It's about raw erotic power, okay?
"Who needs a key? My old man's there. I mean, where the bloody hell else do you think he is? Poor bastard can't leave, can he?"
God blimey, governor! Boopty boopty diddly boopy, I'm from old London town. I'm a proper London geezer.
He looked at the young woman. "They won't let him leave." Governor! Paolo stepped aside to let them into the elevator. "Don't say nothing about this bird, will you, mate? You know who would never understand." Who would never understand? Joey mouthed the name Pocahontas.
What? Elizabeth Warren?
Apparently Elizabeth Warren's in this now.
Joey Lips is Elizabeth Warren's bit on the side.
Velasco stared at Joey. "Pocahontas? The Indian bird. Didn't you ever see that movie? Pocahontas. It's really good. So that's what I call her." "Call whom?" That's a good question. "Call whom, you fucking imbecile?" "Amvi," he said. "I call her Pocahontas. She likes that, but she wouldn't understand. About this bird and me. You know, this sort of thing."
I love the idea that an Indian woman would enjoy being called Pocahontas.
Yeah.
I find that pretty hard to believe.
Velasco went back to his office and shuddered at the thought of this sort of thing.
Same. This sort of thing.
Yeah.
All of this.
Yeah. At 4 o'clock, Timmins phoned. "Cavalry's there, negotiating a settlement as we speak. He wants to know if there are any photographers out front." Velasco went to his door and looked through the lobby to the street. An attractive young dark-haired woman wearing semi-rectangular glasses was leaning against a parked car with 2 cameras over her shoulder. "One," he said, "and I know her. Should I make arrangements for the IBM?" "Yes, please do that." Walking past his office and the elevators, he went through the small door on the left and along the dark hallway to the service elevator. He rode it down to the sub-basement.
Where Trump lived.
The Cadillac Esplanade was already there. During the design phase of the tower, Donald Trump himself personally decided that there might be times when certain people, those kinds of people who needed to avoid the gazing eyes of other people,
Jeffrey and Gillian,
would welcome an ultra-discreet way into the building. It was for him. He built it for himself.
Yeah.
Back in the corner is where Trump's private fleet of 9 cars is always parked.
just slowly rotting away. Never used.
Velasco went up to the stocky, balding Jimmy Timmins. Jimmy Timmins!
His nickname's Jim Tim. Jimmy Jim Tim Timmins.
As he did, a tall, thin man with a moustache, wearing a dark green bomber jacket and a University of West Virginia baseball cap.
Timmy Jimmins.
stepped out of the Cadillac. He looked at Timmins, "Hey Timmy," then looked at Belasco. "How you doing, pal?" He knew the man simply as Forbes, but whenever Forbes showed up, things got done.
Kids disappeared.
This is horrible, isn't it, reading this book? Oh, I'm on page 69, by the way. I figured that. So I'm on page 69 of the sexiest novel of the decade.
And Jeffrey Epstein has made his first appearance. Physically, I mean, spiritually he runs throughout the book.
Page 69 is officially done. We are now living in a post-page 69 world. He motioned to the car. "Your boy's in bad shape. A heavy-set, puffy-faced, dark-haired Mikey Glass, wearing a loose-fitting jogging suit and a Buster Keaton pork pie hat, was lying across the rear seat asleep." Belasco nodded okay and watched while Forbes woke Mikey. "What the hell are you guys doing?" Mikey growled. "Who the fuck are you? Where are the midgets in the clown costumes? Where am I?" They helped the groggy television star out of the car. That's a line, isn't it? Is that a haiku?
It's one of those death poems.
Yeah.
Where are the fucking midgets? The cherry blossoms fall from the trees.
Where the fuck am I? He may not be out of the woods. A cop pal of mine at Midtown North called to say the circus performers may want to press charges. Apparently something about a trained seal and a mermaid, and our Mr. Glass insisted she play the mermaid topless. If she presses charges, it will be for sexual harassment and they'll have to arrest him, Timmins said.
Well, I mean, as we all know, as soon as a woman accuses a rich guy who's in the public eye of sexual harassment,
that's the end of them.
It's the end of them. They get arrested immediately, and of course it goes to trial and they're found guilty 9 times out of 10.
And they never serve as president. At 6, Carlo, Jorge and Paolo went off duty.
Such a multicultural, diverse group of servants.
Gimbal was wearing jeans, a pair of beat-up Nikes, a sweatshirt with the agency's logo, a Zorro-like Z, and a Chicago Cubs baseball cap. But on his shoulder was a gorgeous, custom-made dark red leather Toomey laptop and carry bag. Belasco couldn't help but stare. He knew it was custom-made because he'd bought the exact same bag in the Toomey store on Madison Avenue, where the manager had assured him several times that the bag came in a choice of black or black. I think that was an attempt at humour.
Yeah, that may have been a joke. We can neither confirm nor deny that was a joke.
Suddenly Belasco blurted out, "Mr. Gimbal, please forgive me for being presumptuous." Gimbal turned around to look at Belasco. "But I don't suppose you're flying commercial?" He made a face. "Heaven forbid. Might you have room on the plane? For you? Sure, come on. Don't bother packing a bag." "No, not for me. Mikey Glass got into some trouble last night and it might be best for him if he was not in New York later this morning. There's a possibility that, if he's still in New York in a few hours, he might be arrested." Again, I really love Belasco. He's helping to cover up a sexual assault.
Yeah.
Great guy.
And now the concierge of the building he lives in is arranging for him to leave the fucking scene and travel across the other side of the country so he can escape the law.
Well, that's why Trump needed him, you see.
That's what makes him good at his job.
Yep. Exactly. Gimbal stared at Belasco. "I'm a lawyer by training and trade, and I'm still a member of several bar associations," which is more than Rudy Giuliani could say. "I am therefore an officer of several courts, including those in the state of New York. Are you really asking me to aid and abet the criminal flight of a fugitive from justice?"
Yes, that's correct, yes.
Belasco nodded. "As long as you put it that way. Actually, I am." He said right away, "Sure, but only as a favour to you. I do appreciate it. I love getting sexual beasts off with their crimes."
It's not the first time that Trump has been involved with sexual predators on planes.
There are motherfucking beasts on this motherfucking plane. Then Gimbal warned, "Mikey can't get drunk on the plane, and he can't try to slip his hand under the stewardess's dress, and he can't touch the pilots or try to play with the steering wheel."
Look, Joe, he's an excitable boy.
Oh God. When Mikey finally emerged, still dressed in his sweatpants, sweatshirt and pork pie hat. I mean, he's got a sense of style.
Yeah, you've got to give him that.
You've got to give him that.
The fucking drip on this motherfucker.
He clung to Belasco's arm and they came downstairs. "You are a prince among men," Mikey assured him. "You are saving my life." The chauffeur stepped up to help Mikey. Belasco quickly moved out of the shot and whispered to Danny, "Be my guest." "No bags, sir?" the chauffeur asked Mikey as Danny shot pictures. "I travel light," Mikey answered. Then turned to Danny. "Wanna come with us? We're going to Bora Bora." "Thank you, but I have to work," she said, running off picture after picture. "No, you don't. Marry me. I'm very rich. You're beautiful. We can go native. creative. I'll climb trees and bring you coconuts. I think I'll stick with Josh, she said. Who's Josh? My boyfriend. Does he like coconuts? What the hell? Bring him along. I've got a whole plane.
I'll fuck him too.
As they pulled away, Mikey yelled at Danny through the window, to Bora Bora and beyond. Now she turned to Belasco. Wow, paper will love this, thank you. My pleasure, he smiled. It's very telling that in this book, concierges who cover up sexual assaults and members of the paparazzi are the likeable characters.
Well, I love the fact that she's just standing there chit-chatting away with a guy who's now on the land for a fucking sexual assault. And she's like, ha ha ha.
Yeah.
Isn't this funny? Oh, Pierre, you are a darling. What?
I love how it's written from Chump's perspective.
Body do. Those kids in those concentration camps will be laughing at that one.